I like to be transparent with y'all, you know what I mean? I'm on 8th Street and 30th, right? I want to take y'all on a trip. This how honest I am by myself, right? And that's why I say there needs to be something done in New York City for New York City's homeless. It's fucking crazy. And most of the men that I'm seeing is black men and Spanish men, almost every time. But let me tell y'all this little story. So you see this street right here? I'm taking you to a homeless shelter called Oliveri. And I just want to see if it's still there, because I'm not even sure if it's still there anymore. But for approximately probably 9 months, I saw people going in and out of here. And then I ended up being there myself. And it was, what's going on? It was something that was, you know what I mean? I told you, people on this block know me. It's crazy. And I think it's gone. I really think it's gone. I don't see it. I used to walk through here, and I used to see, hey, did they close the Oliveri place? Oliveri, it used to be right here. Antonio Oliveri. Place used to be right here, the homeless shelter. They closed it?
It's still right there.
Oh, it's still right there? All right. I got you. No, I don't need to go in, but I used to stay there. All right. I guess I passed by it. Well, I think, well, I don't know it no more because of the scaffolding. They turned the scaffolding around on it. Huh. But yeah, I guess I did. It's crazy. But for about a few months prior, I stayed there. And then I got myself out of there. And that's when I got to the Bronx, you know. But the building looks totally different now. It's crazy. This used to be right here. This used to be this, I don't know, they used to do plays and stuff in here, whatever. And then right here used to be this jerk, old black dude that can't stand me. And this is Oliveri now, with black. Wow. That's crazy. That looks totally different. I wouldn't even have known it. I passed right by it. New windows, new everything. But this is Antonio Oliveri. That's the name of it. I spent many days getting on a bus. Believe you me. I went back out to, wherever. But honest and truthful to God, guys, I'm telling you, there needs to be something done for New York's homeless. And there's nothing being done. And the thing that needs to be done, mostly, is some type of support in a system that rapidly houses people. See, that's the problem. There's no rapid housing. Let me take this off so you guys can hear me real better. There's no rapid housing. These programs take sometimes 6 to 7, 8 months to get accomplished after you go through all the red tape. Then after that, there's a whole succession of getting someone to agree to it, which is another couple of months. And then after that, there's another process that goes in after that. That was amazing what I just saw there at Antonio Oliveri. I walked right past the building and didn't even recognize what it was. So that surprised me and shocked me. I used to hang right here when it rained. But that's a part of my past, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think more people should be upright and state their demons or whatever. And I guess that's one of the things that makes me unique from a lot of other bloggers. But I stayed at that place prior to me coming to Connecticut, and I'm not ashamed of it. This always changes. This billboard always changes. This was for Freaky, Friday the 13th of November, from Happy Death Day, called Freaky. That's crazy. I just want to be as transparent as I can with you guys. So I left that shelter system and actually came to a friend's. That didn't work out. And this church right here, good people in here. They feed people in here. Beautiful church. I got pictures in front of this place, you know? Very beautiful church. I always would say that. But this whole block right here has my story invoked in it. And I'm happy for that. But there's something that needs to be done to help New York's homeless men, specifically. There's nothing being done to help the men and everything being done to help women. And I don't mean that as a sexist comment. I mean that as a demographic comment. If you have the same entire demographic over and over and over again, propelling themselves to be in the same thing and following the same suit, what you often get is a repeat. And that repeat, unfortunately enough, and you guys can look this up if you like, I encourage you to. What happens is that whole loop happens over and over and over and over and over again. And once it happens one time, then it continues happening. Now exploit our culture more. This is what I wanted to show you guys. This is a restaurant. You see how things are boarded up right here? Well, there's a lot of businesses like this. This was a restaurant deli. I used to come here and get coffee and shit. Closed down. Some of the office buildings are open, but they're not filled to anything. They're just, it's sad really. You know, Starbucks, you see they had to have we're open time because most of the businesses, and if I go further up, it's even worse. So you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna walk further up so you guys can see even more, but this is 34th Street. 31st, West 31st, boom. Still 34th Street to us, shit, fuck it. And I'm gonna take y'all actually up the block here, and you can just see how it looks and then why, but the street, as you can see, is distorted. It's gone. There's usually 10 more times traffic than that. And as you can see by the traffic, it's getting back to the way it was. I'm almost in it with the scooter. You can see how it's getting back to a little bit what it was. But Madison Square Garden has a fucking banner for something that's actually happening soon, October the 9th. So, you know, it's amazing. New York is somewhat coming back to the momentum it once was, but not fully. And do I see it happening? Yeah. Anytime soon? No. What I think is going to happen ultimately is there's going to be a resurgence. And I think the resurgence is not going to happen in New York City per se, but I think it's going to happen more in Jersey. I think it's going to happen more, I say Jersey, and then I would say Connecticut, because Connecticut's having an uptick in cases as well. And there's the difference between Connecticut and New York is New York has a whole bunch of boroughs. I live here technically still. So New York has a whole bunch of boroughs. Those boroughs are sanctioned off by bridges. And they're all small little islands. They're all unique in their own right. Here, so you guys can see Madison Square Garden. That's the garden. You know what I mean? That's where the Knicks play, all that. But things are different now. Now, oh boy, it's so hard to explain this because it's so many intricacies in it to really just subject it to this one form of like definition, like defining it, definitive. Like it's odd. You have the hip hop element involved, then you mix that into the business element, then you mix that into the business element, then you mix that into this whole social thing that's going on, and then you have this whole construction of this fuckery that's been going on for the past 60, 70 years. Like literally, 60, 70 years. A lot of people think it started in the 1940s, in the 1980s or whatever, but actually it started, I say 1940 something, and when you had Amos and Andy and all these things on TV or whatever, and it was just, I don't know, something different. I want to show you guys something. So, see these trucks right here? They sell edibles off of them. My man, that's my man. If y'all in NY, make sure y'all hit him up. He got all the good edibles and all that. But I had to do a little plug here, because that's my man. The guy that owns the whole business is actually Israeli. But a whole bunch of boys from, I think they from North Carolina, Georgia, one of the two. And they actually, do the vending. But edibles from New York State is legal, or New York City, one of the two. I'm not sure which one, but one of the two. So that's how they're allowed to do that. I don't know where we're headed to as far as hip hop is concerned. This is 34th Street, y'all. But I will tell you this much. I see something unique happening. There's a plus at the end of all this, and that plus is this. If you stop consuming specific brands of hip hop per se, and start focusing on more of the rhapsodies and all inclusive but different in their own tone and everything. I'm not suggesting everybody start listening to Kendrick Lamar. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you somehow or another start listening to a different tone, and this is why I was taking it back to musical theory, that whole time that we worked in the music industry, it was one thing, it was a consistent tone. And that consistent tone, but somehow or another, affected the people. And it affected the people to the point where they're now, you know what I mean? They're almost evolving, but at the same time, they're not evolving. And that's the problem. And the only way that you can evolve the people right now, currently, as you see, it's getting more busy in New York City, but not like it was. The only way that you can really evolve the people is if you go into your fucking pocket and help them. There's no stimulus check coming. And when it does come, it's not coming till after January now. All right? So that means January 25th, whoever keeps office, if it's Trump, and whoever comes in office, if that's Biden, it don't happen to the 25th. So if you don't understand that clearly, if Joe Biden wins, Donald Trump really can't, he could do some last minute executive orders, but not to that complexity. He wasn't able to do it by himself these whole 5 months they had been debating. You know, him and Nancy Pelosi, Mitch, and the other one. I like to call him Nelson from fucking, not South Park. What was that goddamn thing called? Not South Park, the other one, The Simpsons. He looked like Nelson from Simpsons. It's a strange world nowadays, y'all. And we gotta live in it. And I'm real worried about the folk because a lot of folk were waiting for those stimulus checks. And they ain't coming now. They ain't coming. I hope y'all hear me on this. They ain't coming. So, shout out one more time to the Edibles. Wavy. That plug, had to do that. Those guys, they got about 3 or 4 different ones. So if y'all come down here, make sure y'all check them out. They're always here in Manhattan. It's devolving. It's not moving forward at all. And what's happening in the process is you're having a lot of other races make the race to outperform you. And that's what I'm particularly more worried about, because the hip hop of now here, I'll let you guys see. The hip hop of now doesn't embrace, and I won't say all hip hop, but the hip hop that I promoted. I'm going to say specifically the albums that we sold and the artists that we promoted. Those albums gave premise to a trajectory or some shit. And that shit was this. It made the people almost numb to each other. And in the course of being numb to each other, they suddenly forgot how to be together with one another. So, objectively enough, the people, I'm just letting y'all see NYC a little bit, the people, I don't know, they devolved from where we once were. Like when I grew up with my mother and my father, we always had lots of different types of musics in the house, and you know, like we would listen to everything from stuff from the Caribbean to and I'm talking about Toots and Barrett and Levi, however you want to pronounce it. But we all listened to those people growing up. And now, the choices in the music that the kids now have to choose from is subjected to a whole bunch of shit, you know? And I ain't got no kids, but I got nephews and I got nieces, and now I'm a great uncle. And that scares me a little bit, because being a great uncle now, I'm like, okay, what is this kid gonna grow up listening to? And he's not gonna be influenced by Earth, Wind & Fire, Marvin Gaye, and many of the kids won't. he's going to be influenced by music that per se has a certain octave and tone sonically. And it knee-jerks a reaction out of you psychologically. It's a dopamine feeder. It's a lot of things, and I spoke on this, and this goes into musical theory once again, that these are things that you cannot necessarily take apart from. You know, you can't just pick. There's another one of the vans. Get your edibles. Slow. So if y'all come to New York, make sure y'all hit them up. Well, I'm telling you, there's something eerie going on, and the one proponent, I think more so than anything, is this. New York City has fallen. England has fallen. I got friends that live in England, specifically my Gina, shout out to her. She's been here. She came here last year and we linked. So it was great. It was before COVID hit, you know? But yo, there's so many ways I could define it. But basically you're gonna see an economic collapse. You're gonna see a whole residential collapse. But I think it's gonna hit more so with the mortgage market than it is the rental market first. And the reason I say that is because it takes tons of time to get to an eviction case in this type of climate. So you're talking, if a multitude of, say, let's say 10,000 for the whole state. If you had just a 10,000 people and they were all voting in sway to go towards one ideal, like you would be outrun by that point right then. So I would say it would take the minimum of 7 to 8 months before they start getting to these cases. Once government fully opens and the memorandums are lifted and there's no more rental stabilization or, you know, stagnance or whatever the hell else you want to name it. It's happened in Texas. Texas, I heard one person on YouTube say it's taken Texas about 2 to 4 weeks to get to their individual cases, but the adjudication process is taking a lot longer. So, I don't know. When that hits the tri-state though, and the way the rents are here, like the way basically, like even though I'm back out in Connecticut now, I'm still a New York City resident. So, the way it is, everybody cohabitates here, for the most part. Whether it's a family member, whether it's a roommate, whether it's a friend in the couch, you know what I mean? Everybody cohabitates for the most part here. You know, wife, girlfriend, whatever. And the reasons because of this are because of the price points of the rent. Those price points have now reached CT because now the people in CT, they losing jobs too. You know what I'm saying? Blessings. They losing jobs now too. So you got a whole group of not only blacks and Latinos that are losing jobs, but they're losing jobs at a rapid rate because these businesses are closed down. See, the mom and pop stores, they didn't get the EID money, the PPP money the moment they needed it. And then the duration it took these businesses to get it, I'm talking about your small mom and pop coffee shop or where you go get a donut, you know, or wherever you go right there. Those places are now closed down. Now that there's not a second form of stimulus going around, you're not even going to have that. You're not even going to have that. They will not get to the second stimulus, until after January 25th, if a new president is elected, which will be Biden. And if Donald Trump is elected, they probably won't get back to a session on it until probably like February if it goes that way. Because now it's total control. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to be in there for 4 more years. I know I can make some things happen within that 4 years. I can structure it the way I want to, and I have time. So now that you have time, you can do it however you want to. You don't have to wait. You don't have to stagnate. You know, only thing you have to do is worry about control of the House. And that should be no problem because when Nancy Pelosi comes back up, she's the fuck up out of here. I think she knows she's the fuck up out of here. This is the way she's just choosing to go out on her own. It's like a kamikaze move. It's suicide by Nancy, but she's doing it on purpose, you know? And I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at Nancy Pelosi. You know, if this is the way Nancy Pelosi wants to go out, then that's cool. She leaves a legacy like that, and that's the end of it. But I will say this much. She is like Cruella DeVille on the real side of the game. And I mean that shit. I'm trying to get past this bus, y'all. So I would just say Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are the ones that held up the stimulus, black and Spanish people. Go spread that shit. Like y'all talk about everything else, who Cardi B fucking and who getting divorced. Go spread that shit. Run, go tell that. All right, run, go tell that. That this bitch held up the second stimulus for 5 months for $1,200. $1,200. You know what I mean? $1,200. So you got to take that into consideration. I don't know, guys. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I brought you all the way up here to Times Square just to talk about that. But we are seeing the deduction, a de-evolving of the youth culture. And that was a fucking direct, I don't know. I take my wrongs for what they are. I was directly involved, and I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm sorry, people. You know, we help promote that shit. We help sell it, and it is what it is. You know, and so I just leave it like that, and I let it go into God's hands from there. But at least I'm able to get. I still say the same thing if you guys don't believe me or not. I can't believe I got. Oh, that's right. The A's down here. Shit. I'm walking the wrong way. Never mind, y'all. I got more time. I'm gonna talk some more. All right, so since I got some more time now, hold on, let me just move out the way because it's mad people and I want to move around everybody. You got to know how to shake it, right? You got to know how to shake. So, here comes a bicycle. See, this is what I mean by the bicycles. They be everywhere. You got to watch for bikes and cars. That's a fact. That's why I always walk right here, though. But I see a de-evolving of the culture. And if it continues the same way, it's not going to get any better. So that's all I'm really saying to you is stop consuming certain forms of hip-hop. You know what I mean? I help sell the shit. Like I said, if you don't know who I am, I work for Interscope Records. I work for Arista BMG. This is the old McDonald's. Well, now it's the old McDonald's, now closed. Which used to be the biggest McDonald's in Times Square. And they pulled up out of here. Now, you can't see this, but there's 3 floors in here. Now completely empty. Completely empty. So that's what I meant by businesses are closing. There's more of them. I'm going to take you down a little bit more so you guys can see. There's actually probably anywhere between the ranges of 20 to 30 businesses on some streets that are completely closed or you think are operable, but they're just giving you an illusion that they're operable. They're not. They're actually got maybe some attendants in there. They might have some people, cleaning or whatever, but that's it. It doesn't go any real further than that. It's NYC bus, y'all, so all y'all across the land can see that. But I'm really impressed, though, I will say, how things have picked up. And now it looks better than what it did at one time. And I just got to say that. I love the way it looks now. It looks like something. AMC fucking theater is open. AMC theater is open. But right across the street, Regal's not. If you can see that, it says temporarily closed. See that right there? That's the Regal Theaters. That's the other harbor. But AMC had been closed for months. And when I say months, y'all, I mean like, whoo. So let me see. We're going to look right now and see if they actually open. I'll be surprised if they are. They might just have the lights on. No, they're actually open. Are they? Let's see. AMC Empire 25 will reopen based on when its local and state guidelines allow. Please visit, see what I mean? And this is what I was telling you guys just a few minutes ago. We apologize for our inconvenience. So they're not open as well, So this is what I mean right here. Like, a lot of the news outlets, they're giving you this idea